Joining me now is Amelia, another member of our group. We're gonna go down to her storm shield. She's gonna invite me, so she's gonna press the options button on her controller, and then you scroll over to the left to one of the little pluses, and you click X on that, and it'll bring up the party finder. And then in the party finder, you'll see the name, like the list of all your friends, and you just press square. But she sent me an invite, so I'm gonna join her now. So it'll pop up saying she's been promoted to the party leader, and now you can see that you've joined your friend. So now, anytime you're ready, Amelia, you can just start the mission.
Alrighty, so do I go back to the play or just do it, hit X on the map?
We're gonna do the home base storm shield. We're actually gonna level you up to level 2, but we're gonna do a quick little video on building a shelter and some cool things that you can do. A little tutorial on like different ways you can shape the buildings and whatnot. So from map, if you choose your home base storm shield and then just select enter on that.
Okay.
So you see she pressed X. I don't have any options here, and actually now that I joined her game, I can see her map. So she's only got like 3 nodes that are missions that expire on her map, but most of her city is still covered in smoke. As you level up your storm base or your home base storm shield, um, you will clear the smoke away and actually be able to see more and more of the city and the surrounding lands. So she started the mission, and now we launched just by pressing square. Alright, so the little bot tells you some things at the beginning of each thing. So, as you can see, we've got a basic floor, um, a stone floor, and then she built just a metal and wood wall around her storm shield with a door right here that she can enter in if she needed to. But then she's also got some floor traps, some wall traps, and some ceiling traps. A trap does disappear if the like a ceiling trap, for instance, it will disappear even if it's not damaged. If for whatever reason a lobber destroys the ceiling, the trap dies too. The trap just won't stay hanging there freely. So usually, what I would recommend is using stone for a ceiling, just so it has a little bit more protection, so it doesn't get taken out by a lobber, especially with this type of build, which is the most common build and the best build so far in the game that you can do. You usually just want to like put um, put a basic wall around. I do the strongest wall that I can create on the inner, and then I do a brick wall on the outer as a second layer, and then as your third layer defense, meaning the outermost layer, I usually make that the weakest out of wood. So I do metal, stone, and then wood, just because you want the attackers. If they're going to attack it anyways, you don't want to use a precious resource to constantly repair as they attack them. You want to be able to repair it quickly and as often as possible. So I always recommend using wood as your outermost layer, because wood's easy to come by. Because if you look here, there's some stone, but there's no metal that she could quickly farm to repair her building if it gets damaged and she runs out. Because you also need metal to craft bullets. So let's say you run out of ammo and you've used up all of your metal to repair your walls, you're pretty much SOL. So I really highly recommend always building your outer layer with wood. So with Amelia's permission, we're gonna redo her base real quick, just a little bit, and come up with a design that works pretty well. It does add up later on, but in the beginning, it's only 10%. So right now, this building, this wall, will cost me 9 metal, whereas this is going to cost Amelia 10 metal. So if you want to build your wall like right here I'm standing, I'm going to build mine right here. And then like if you see how fast hers is going up versus how fast mine's going up, I place mine after hers, and it's going to be done well before hers. Um, that's just a perk of being a constructor. So when it comes to building your home bases, you definitely should use a constructor. And when it comes to gathering resources for your bases, you should definitely use an outlander. As far as the different classes go, when it comes to destroying or farming any of the resources in the game, the Outlander class far exceeds any of the other classes. The Ninja, the Survivalist, and the Constructor when it comes to farming anything. The reason for that is they have a perk with the building tool. So basically, if you real quick, just to get you an idea, if you press and hold circle, you can edit all these shapes in here by holding the right trigger. You just look at them and then press the right trigger, or you can hold it and kind of drag it around, and they do different things. Um, but what's weird is sometimes you'll run into something that has red, so you kind of have to have like an idea of what the basic shape of whatever it is you want to create looks like, and then go from there. So for instance, to have like a lower wall here that you can shoot over, you're only going to have the bottom row lit up. You're going to unmark or uncheck all the top boxes. So you're just going to have a bottom thing. If you run out of space in a certain area, or you need to go around something, you can always make a bottom row only 2 instead of the 3. And that's something you can do. So it's like kind of like having like a little gate through. Um, but most of the time you are gonna have 3 spaces because that's the game's kind of set up that way. Because everything's set up in boxes, like 4 boxes, 4 squares as far as the ground goes. Now, as you see, we're adding the finishing touches to the third and outermost layer for Amelia's base. And let's just put that right there. However, if you notice, we don't have a floor down, so we can't place traps. However, you really don't need to put down, like here, should place down a brick floor. That really isn't necessary, because most of the time you will have a roof of some sort for ceiling traps. And there's nothing attacks the floors except for lobbers, and that's usually only by accident, and on the case that you don't have a roof. So for the most part, I recommend saving, unless you're doing something for aesthetics. Like my base, which we'll show later on, is a theme base that really isn't going to be used anymore because I don't need this area. I'm pretty much maxed out, and I won't do any more shield defenses there that we know of at this time in the game. So I've redone everything to not make much sense other than for aesthetically pleasing. So as you see, Amelia went ahead and added the rest of the flooring there, and then I do recommend if you do this, if you follow this building model, put your doors off to the side. Most of the creeps try to go straight for the storm shield, so they're going to come through this wall here. They're not going to worry about going through a side unless there's a ton of them. But as you see, it's very easy to actually like fold them into and coming into one direction. You can do a lot of different things, and you can even add like traps like right here. Whoops. That, oh, why is this not working? Hold on. There we go. You can actually add traps like right here, where as they come up, they get zapped by like wall traps. So there's a lot of things you can do to funnel them in and actually lower their numbers before they actually ever see your base. But that's just an example. These might not be something she wants, so we'll go ahead and take them down because they're kind of ugly. But that's something you can always throw up right before a mission starts. That's not something you have to keep around all the time, because if you make them out of wood, they're designed to fall anyways because the number of uses of a trap, you'll definitely go through the trap that's there if you place it at the beginning of a mission. So once again, place your doors off to the side, and on these walls, it only takes two to create a door. So here we created a door in the center, but if you covered those up, you can actually do the two on this side and create the door on this side, or mark those back up, or you can create a door on this side. So there's a lot of actual like different things you can do with these with the building tools with what's already given. So here we created the door to the side and pushed it off over to the side as far as possible. As you realize and level up things in the future, you'll notice that the door, which is why I recommend putting it off to the side, has lower health. It's 290 health, whereas a regular brick wall is 300. That goes up exponentially as you level up the ability to give health increases to your walls and for your upgrades. So we'll go through the door. This is your inner base or innermost layer. We're actually going to edit and remove her door from the front side to actually the back side because there really isn't any need. The creeps really don't come back here. They don't go around the sides and nothing ever spawns. I've gotten my base all the way up to 6 and nothing ever spawns. If you're familiar with the game Fallout, Vendor Tech is basically just like a Fallout shelter. So that's all this is back here, is basically where you came out of a shelter. So it never has any other uses so far that I've learned, other than being here for aesthetic reasons. So we're going to place her entrance to the storm shield back here. So her weakest wall is the backmost wall. So that is done. Now, just for security reasons, I have the metal to do it. We're going to show you what a level 2 upgraded metal wall looks like, and we're going to give her a little bit of a boost by upgrading her inner wall that will basically be able to survive all the way up to Storm Shield 5 without any issues. So now you can see the difference. Instead of being 400, it is now 900. And it looks a little bit different. It's still a bunch of different pieces of metal pushed together with some nuts and bolts, but it's not different colored and looks like roofing material. It actually kind of looks like, we're trying to put up a fight. Now, once you're able to get to it, this is a level 3 wall on my level 2 constructor, which now the wall jumps from being 900 to 1400. A similar level, just to give you an idea, a brick wall at level 2 is 675, where a metal wall at level 2 is 900. So there is quite a difference in armor and in health of the wall. Metal obviously being the hardest resource to come by in the game, really isn't that hard to get. Just go into a lower level game like I explained in one of the other videos, and farm in a low level area. Just go into the city on a level 3 mission and an Atlas generator mission where there's no time limit, and just destroy all the cars. It probably takes 20 cars and you'll have all the metal you need. You'll max out at 999. So this is now a level 3 metal wall. Once again, the colors change, the layout of it kind of changes. Instead of being like some patchwork, each piece fits individually, and it's kind of like welded together with stronger bolts. Once again, the health increases by 500, so it's quite the upgrade. A similar upgraded to level 3 brick wall or stone wall, however you want to look at it, is 1050. And this right here is a level 3 stone wall. The color changes from the red to the tan to more like concrete blocks is what it looks like to me. So these are your strongest walls. The metal being the absolute like key into this game as far as surviving games in the end. One of the things she doesn't have on the inside that she should have is flooring, because one of the constructor's abilities is a unit that he can place down on the ground that fortifies everything that it touches within six units. Units in this game are derived by not the little squares, but the big squares. So this whole wood plank right here that I'm circling is one unit. So this is two, this is three. So if you build a building like this, and then we build an upstairs, so when you go to building and then you press triangle to stairs, it's this humongous thing. Well, no one ever wants stairs like that because that blocks our path. We can't easily get around. So if you press and hold circle, you then get this funky little thing that shows two arrows going up and little boxes and whatnot. Well, for instance on this, we're going to start on the left side, click and hold, and then you're going to walk forwards and then let go. And it creates just a one-side thing. So now we have a little prefabricated staircase that doesn't take up the whole way, and it has a little railing that you can easily jump over if you need to. So now what we'll do, once again, this is an inside wall, so there really is no need for anything outside, or excuse me, let me rephrase that. Anything inside the stone of this type of fort can be wood for the roof. Because we're going to have another wall that will basically overshadow. So something I like to do, oh, I ran out of wood, but so on this, if Amelia edits this and she takes out the square, oh, not this one, on this one, place a thing right here. Okay, so we covered up the stairs. However, if she edits this and then takes out the blue square that I'm standing on, and then voila, you can actually walk through. And it makes this nice little like fencing around it, so it actually kind of, the game always tries to make everything look pleasing. And they do a very good job with it. So this is now a nice little staircase leading up to the top here. One thing we do have to worry about are the lobbers. So the lobbers will try to take this out by shooting over the base. So what we'll do is we'll add a stone or a metal, but I'm just going to use stone for right now because mine is made of stone on my base. Never had any issues with it. So, and then we'll actually build a quick little staircase that we'll take down here in a minute and add a roof over this. So a lobber actually can't ever lob anything in to damage this during a storm shield defense mission. And we can actually leave the stairs here for later if we ever decide to build upwards, if she wants to make this like into a little castle. Now on to our next phase is we're going to make ceiling traps, floor traps, and wall traps. And then we'll kind of do a little tunneling system based off of knowing where the enemies come from. That way we can make the most out of the traps we place. That way there's not a waste of materials or anything, and you don't have to worry about your base falling. Using this guide, you should be able to easily get to Storm Shield 5 by yourself. You won't have to try to find people to party up with. This will be easily, you can easily solo this up to level 5. You can level 6, but to do so, I would recommend upgrading the outer wall, the wooden wall, and upgrading your stone before doing a level 6 solo with this setup. This is fairly straightforward. There's not really anything crazy. We're not doing anything crazy as far as building goes. And another video will show how to make like staircases that go up several levels at a time, walls that are different shapes, and arches, and all kinds of different walkways and things that you can do with making bridges and all sorts of fun stuff. So here we are. We have finished building Amelia's base. Very thankful for her to let us do this on her account. The inside wall is metal, the second layer is stone, and the outside layer is wood, with a stone ceiling on the outermost layer for ceiling traps, um, and wall traps and floor traps. The smaller wall out here, you can actually build a shock tower trap and place it out here, so you even get a trap kill before they even get to the wall itself. And we'll do that on a later tutorial where we actually do the storm shield defense too. If you follow this build, it's fairly simple, it's fairly straightforward, it's nothing fancy, there's no crazy architecture or anything going on. It's just straightforward, but it's very good. It's a great defense. Once you add traps and everything, I don't really have any recommendations on what traps to put where, other than to use shock tower or shock traps, excuse me, on the outside of the wooden um, wall. Other than that, it's whatever you feel is best or whatever you can make. Everyone has different schematics, and different schematics do different things with different perks. So whatever you feel like on the inside um, will work. Thanks for listening and thanks for watching. Please subscribe and look for the next video.